Hey guys, today I have a variant for the Axis and Allies board. I did not have enough different colored pieces. That's why, American pieces are the Ottoman Empire, British pieces are the Austro-Hungarian Empire. The Russian, these are Italian. They're Russian pieces though. Italians, and then the Portuguese also have Russian pieces, and they have pieces down here. And then I put the markers on the German pieces here just to make sure that, it wasn't South America or the Spanish, who also use German pieces. We got the Nordic coalition, that's all the Norse countries, plus Iceland, Greenland, Denmark, Finland, and then I gave them Karelia and Viborg, I think it is. Yeah, Viborg. China, I did not have enough pieces to give China, or to let China use from somebody else. So they got the Anzac pieces because they are the third largest nation if you don't count Britain twice. Yeah, they're looking pretty strong. Oh shoot, I forgot part of the setup. I never did Russia's Navy. So, yeah, I'll do that after the video, or I'll probably just do it here in the video. Far East Command, I did not have enough naval bases and air bases, so I had to draw some. So, you got Far East Command here. This is the Dutch here. Yeah. The French, and then the Japanese are way weaker. These are the Mongolians using Italian pieces. We got the Russians. I will try to upload the entire setup, but I actually don't know how. And then the Americans, they have exactly the same setup, except I gave them a complex in the Philippines. I'm pretty sure that's the only difference I did. The Ottoman Empire, I'm pretty sure they have Crete, northwestern Persia, and Afghanistan too. I don't know if I gave them Cyprus or not. This is the British, of course. The Germans have Rhodesia, Gold Coast, and they're down here. This is the Portuguese and Dutch fleets that are adjacent to Belgium, Congo, and Angola. Mozambique's over there. That's also Dutch. South America, I pretty much made the whole thing up, except the Americans, I'm pretty sure I did almost pretty much the exact same. The British, I moved some boats around and gave them some new boats. The Italians, I just moved some boats around and made Africa stronger. Don't know why I did that. France had the same exact setup, except of course I gave them their troops that were in London. I put those in Paris. But then after realizing that Germany could take Paris on the first turn, I had to buff France because we don't want Paris taken on the first turn. That's just not good. Here's the Dutch capital. I had to stack their naval base, air base, and complex because there wasn't enough room. Who else did I stack it with? Yeah, Portugal. I stacked that. We got the Japanese. I nerfed them a ton. Yeah. I made some provinces worth more because you all know that Mongolia is worth nothing. So I edited, Portugal is now, instead of worth 1, it's worth 2 IPCs, and so then they have their 2 African colonies. That puts them up at 4. That's Portugal. This is Spain, which actual Spain, instead of being worth 2, is now worth 4, plus Morocco. That's 5. Mongolia. Every province except Central Mongolia is worth 1. Central Mongolia is worth 3. Now, Italy, I don't know why I'm using the Italian roundel with the Russian pieces, but, whatever. Italy, they shoot, what was I saying? Oh yeah, there's no IPC changes for Italy. For the Swedes, or the Nordic Coalition, here, let me check. Did I? No, nothing. Everything here is the exact same. For Germany, to be worth, or here, next, we're on South America. South America, for them to be this high. Brazil is now worth 3 instead of 2. Colombia is now worth 2 instead of nothing. Bolivia is now worth 1 instead of nothing. So yeah. Next, the Ottomans. Turkey is worth 1 more income. And then, yeah, Poland is worth +2. That's everything. Oh, Dutch New Guinea is now 1 more. It's now worth 6. Dutch New Guinea is now worth 1 to bump the Dutch up to 16. Next, it's the Austrians, Austro-Hungarian Empire. They're right there. Oh, the capital is Slovakia, Hungary. The capital of the Nordics are Sweden. Capital of South Americans are Brazil. These, of course, that's their capitals. Italy still has Rome. Ottoman Empire is Turkey. Central Mongolia for the Mongolians. And then, of course, over here for the Dutch. I think that's everybody I've covered so far. Yeah. And then the Austrians, I gave them some boats. And then everything here, everything north of Greece that's not that is Austrian. And then next, we go on to the Japanese. The Japanese, I nerfed them a ton. They still, that's 11, and then they have 3 islands. That's 14. Oh, they have Siam. I keep forgetting about that. So $15 for the Japanese. I nerfed them a ton. Yeah, and then we go on to the Dutch. The Dutch, everyone has their navy here. It's insane. But yeah, the Dutch they have like a bomber, 2 infantry, 2 artillery, and a tank, and 2 AAA. And then, they have 3 infantry in Belgian Congo, because it's like the Belgian and the Dutch. Then they have Suriname. I said that wrong. They have some boats down here for their Belgian Congo troops. And then this is where the real powerhouse of the Dutch is. I gave them a factory on Borneo because it's not like they're going to build stuff there and move it all the way around the world to protect that. They're just not going to do that. They're just going to lose these when all these troops run out. So yeah, they got a factory there on Borneo. And also I gave them Hainan. Yeah, I think so. Next, the Germans and the French. So yeah, the French, they're down to 17 IPCs. I'm pretty much the same setup. I give them a battleship here, like buffed their fleet down here. Give them a battleship and a transport down here. Give them a sub up there. Give them a submarine over here, along with 3 infantry, an artillery, and a complex. In Africa, the French, they don't have Morocco anymore, so I put that infantry in Algeria. They still have their infantry in French West Africa and their destroyer in French Madagascar. And then, of course, their sub in 36. The Germans, well, this was really irritating me earlier because I was counting up all their territories, and I was like, that's only worth 15. How come I have them labeled as 17? And then I realized I gave them Gold Coast and Rhodesia. So that was annoying me for a while. So yeah, the Germans up here, I had to nerf them a ton. I gave them Baltic states. Poland is now worth 2 more, and they have their battleship there, and some boats there. Next, we move on to the Chinese. They just have all the Chinese territories. I gave them a pretty sizable fleet, I think. And then they have that's like 10 infantry in Yan'an, along with a bomber and some tanks. And then they pretty much just have the same setup as the Japanese stuff here, except Kiangsi, because Shanghai is their capital. And then they have a ton of stuff up here to defend against Mongolia. Not a lot in Manchuria, though, to defend against maybe the Soviet force or even the Japanese attacking. But yeah, China is really the oddball because they're way too far away from anyone that can like mass produce anything. Like India, Russia's way over there. They'd have to move. Japan, they're not really a power in this game. Like they're the weakest major power with 15 income. The next is the Dutch with 16, and then the French and British with 17. And then it goes up to the Chinese, of course. And then we have the European British, which they're actually looking really weak in Africa. Like, they could get taken over by the Italians here. I put their fleet here so that they don't kill the Spanish fleet on the first turn. Because in this game, the only alliance that is set is Britain and the Portuguese. So that would not be good. Because, yeah, they could just take that out for turn 1. Yeah, they're looking really weak in Africa, though. So I might buff them in Africa. I'm not sure. Or at least maybe give them a complex in Egypt. And then they only have 2 guys down here, so the Germans or the Portuguese are allied with them, so maybe the Portuguese will reinforce Union of South Africa or even attack the Germans, I don't know. But yeah, because the Germans could definitely take Union of South Africa. I'm not saying that Germany would have a chance against Britain, but that would be very annoying for the British down here. And then now we move on to the Pacific. Now we move on to the Pacific British. They are at 27 income. Europe is at 24. So this is pretty much. I'm pretty sure I gave them the exact same setup. Australia has the same setup. Britain has the same setup, except I gave them an aircraft carrier, this little guy. And, yeah. Next, it's the Russians. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's all we got for these guys. Yeah, next it's the Russians. Russia, despite having, I guess, second largest, you could call it third largest because Britain's kind of cheating by splitting their income. But, you know, they would have the largest income in the game. So, yeah, Russia, I counted it earlier, they have 14 provinces that they have to protect as their border. That's more than, like, other countries even have. Like, most minor powers don't even have that many. Like, I know France and Germany don't either. The Dutch probably don't. Like, China would be the only one that actually has more than 14 territories, so the Russians are kind of screwed here because they only have 35 income. I mean, that's a lot. That is the second largest income in the game, but they have to protect the most stuff. So I buffed them a ton because, you know, regular Russia would have just absolutely crumpled against these guys. As I said, I did not put their navy in, so I'm going to add that now. Russian navy is here. So, Seazone 127, they have their submarine. Seazone 115, they have a cruiser and a destroyer. That's the Baltic Sea. They're sharing that with the Nordic Coalition. Then in Seazone 100, a destroyer and a transport. That's the Black Sea. We'll have to fight against that Austro-Hungarian cruiser if they choose to go to war with them. Seazone 5, they have a cruiser, a destroyer, and a transport. So, Seazone 5 is over here. I wanted to give them a complex in Amur, but I didn't really want to at the same time. because China only has one complex, and if they take this, then they have two complexes. They're just going to start pumping stuff into Russia, probably take out Mongolia and the Japanese. Yeah, China can really mess some stuff up before anybody can actually get to them. And then in Season 74, we have a submarine. I just did this for the laughs. This is right here at the bottom of the world. I just did that for the lulz because I thought it would be hilarious for a Russian submarine to be there. Hopefully no one thinks it's Portuguese. So we'll just put a Russian marker under him so that we know he's not Portuguese. Now, yeah, that is that. So now the Americans, so everyone's pretty close together. They jump out over to Russia and then America up at 52. Yeah. They have the exact same setup, like I said, except I gave them a complex in the Philippines. Yeah, but the Americans, like, if the British really wanted to, like, I think these four, and maybe if they brought a transport 1, 2, 3, no, that wouldn't work. But, you know, they could, if they used all these guys here, they might actually be able to take out the Americans' first turn, which that would not be good for the world, because Britain would then be the strongest nation on Earth, because they would probably then take the rest of America, and that's 52 income for the British. That's not fun for anybody. Also, the South Americans here, like, they can get to, like, here before America builds up. I did something where to kind of balance it out so America doesn't go crazy on turn 1. So the economies are switched. So on turn 1, America would start with 4 income, and the Portuguese would start with 52 income. Same with, like, Russia would switch with Spain, Mongolia would switch with Pacific Britain, Italy would switch with European Britain, the Nordic Coalition would switch with China, South America would switch with Russia and, or that's not Russia, France and Germany, Turkey would switch with the Dutch, and the Japanese would switch with the Austrians. So yeah, that makes things a little more fair. Like, you know, the Portuguese is them. I would just upgrade the factory, build 2 fighters and 4 infantry. Because if Spain wants to kill you, they can right now, so, you know. Or you could upgrade your factory, build a battleship and 4 infantry. That would be pretty sweet. But, yeah, that is this setup. I will try to post it. I honestly don't know how. Oh yeah, I had to, like I said, I had to build more. This is all that's left. Like, that's all that's left of my markers. So yeah. And Europe just looks absolutely amazing with all those pieces there. So yeah, I hope if you guys try this, I hope that you have fun with my setup. I did not have like any World War, like, you know, Axis and Allies 1914 pieces for this. I just didn't have enough pieces, so that's why I had to use other country pieces. So, you know, have fun with the setup.